win. So Dinko, I don't know if that makes you a better or worse man than I am. Probably worse, and that's saying something. But yeah, we're going to be getting into this one. As you sort of set up, I don't think this is going to be a particularly good game of Counter-Strike. I'm hoping from HUAT's side, we at least get Ronan playing. Like, he might not be the smartest player in the world, but in terms of individual skill, he is definitely up there. On the other side of things, I honestly find it hard to know where to go. I guess Bingo's probably the player I look to have a decent match. Maybe Oi, just because of what we've seen from in the past. And obviously Big Wang himself can put up the numbers. But I think that's what it comes down to. I don't think we really need to talk about strategy. I don't think we need to talk about like mentality or anything like that. I think this game is going to come down purely to individual skill and momentum.
Yeah. Well, I mean, at the end of the day, with these two teams, you'd expect nothing less. I mean, we are at the bottom of the barrel here, and I think if HUAT win, it just dooms both of the teams. If After win, maybe, if we take aside our opinions of the team, statistically, they have a chance of making it through the playoffs. Whereas I think HUAT are at the stage where they physically do not. And so, for me, After the team that need to win this one, HUAT's tournament run is pretty much doomed as it is. But with the kind of maps that we've coming in, you got a Mirage, you got a Dust 2, yeah, it has to be very individually based. And with these teams, regardless of what map it is, I would still say the same thing. The only way that it could have really went that I would have felt any favor would have been maybe like a train coming out for HUAT. I think they would have stood a better chance then up against After, considering the results they've got versus Checkmate and Divine Vendetta on that map. Obviously, they lost to Bren as well, though, so... Yeah, it's hard to predict a whole lot for these guys because the inconsistencies have been there. In all fairness, though, so HUAT rely on Ronan Baby to come through and have a huge performance, at least in some of the games that we've seen from them. And as we said, day one, I think it was, he got 38 kills and they still lost. But After, they've got so much to work with. I mean, this is a team that I really want to see succeed. But as you said, Tom, the first day was just, the first few days were horrendous from them. And so it's hard to really have any faith in them, even with the star-studded lineup for the region that they have.
Well, we're going into the pistol, and no surprise, it's just going to be a fast play towards the A site. ZAI has managed to get the opening pick at least, and Spiel's going to attempt to try and take control in towards the window. He's got to be careful. They're going to end up getting Wang, even though it was more of a surprise push, and Bingo's decided not to try and make the jump further forward. ZAI, he was the man to kick it off. Smoke actually going to be utilized just to get them into the site, I guess. I don't really know too much of what that did, but hey, well, I was going to say it worked. They got them 2 kills, then they got traded out. Bingo eventually comes from behind, and now it's left all onto Ronan, baby, as he's got to try and clutch this one out. Do they have a kit? No. Ah, okay. Well, they ran out of time.
I think he even had a kit, but I think he picked it up on his way out.
He picked it up, yeah.
So that's
I think Wang must have had it in the window.
I'm not sure, but either way, we've ended up in the position now where HUAT have managed to find that round despite losing the opening pick and a flurry of frags coming through on the retake. That's disappointing. That was ZAI that had it out on site, so losing that, there's a little bit of a reroute to go over and get it, and they just didn't have the time. That's quite depressing. For After, it felt like that was within their clutches for sure. They've come in with full deagles. They're going to look to shut down this pretty strong buy. I like HUAT's investment into AKs, but they've lost a player straight away.
The power of the deag. Oh, my dear. God. Oh, dear. This has been 25 seconds. They've almost lost their whole team. What? That round lasted 30 seconds. That's longer than Dinko. Shorter than Dinko. Who knows? Either way, 1-1.
I'll tell you, there were a lot more explosions in that one, but it was a heavy burst of energy. Lots of pounding with deagle bullets just coming through. They were just absolutely shredding their opponents, and I love that. Here in
talking about the game. Oh, sorry.
Oh, the deagle bullets just pounding against their opponents. That's what I'm talking about. You're such a dirty mind, Tom. Jeez. But when you look at that position, that's terrible for HUAT. You know, they came in 3 AKs. Oh, one more Oi. Just stand there. Just tank those shots. I like it. Wang missing the taps, but he gets him through the smoke. Excuse me. I was not through a smoke. Come on, Counter-Strike. One particle of smoke had flowed up. That counts. But it looks like the Deagles are able to do some damage in the late round. I think they've just lost a little bit too much for this to really work. And you can see the SMGs cleaning it up to leave Neff in a 1v3. He has got control of the site. The problem is, no bomb. He's left that towards top mid. And so that is going to be a very easy round for after in the post play. But those 2 kills that came through might make a little bit of difference. They're certainly going to weaken that CT economy. Problem is, HUAT obviously force bought into that, so they won't get a chance to really punish them here. At least they shouldn't.
I'll be honest, I don't think we needed to see this in slow-mo. Like, wasn't that impressive? There were quite a few shots missed. But, you know, PGL giveth and PGL taketh awayeth. There we go. It's going to be a fast play, well, ish, into the B site. Oi has spotted everybody. Just going to expend his Molotov, of course, in this round. They shouldn't really be taking any casualties. And with Marek holding on to short, looks like that's going to be the case. Well, it's a bit of an awkward fight, but they're getting away with it. And okay, we got there in the end. We got there in the end. A flawless round. After Gaming are going to be making some extra cash. Money's looking good on their side. If they need a rebuy, they'll be absolutely fine. And for the T side, obviously after losing that second round, they're going to come in here with a bit of a weaker purchase than we'd like to see.
Were you also hearing music there, Tom? Was
yeah,
that just
I thought
okay.
I'd left a tab open on another stream or something. I was like, what?
I genuinely just went through all the tabs in Chrome, like, what the? I'm loving it. Hey,
yeah, I like this.
This is a mirage
because I mentioned yesterday that we need some music for when things aren't as awesome. This works. I feel a little bit more awake now.
This is a proper mirage vibe as well, though. I'm seeing it. I'm feeling it. Tom,
I feel like this is something that will be played in like one of those Star Wars bars as well.
It's like in Disneyland when you go to the kind of Moroccan side of it. Ooh.
Oh, I'm enjoying that. We need a Frag movie like this.
Oh, picks up. Hey.
Oh! Ronan gets a kill. Wang, he's going to trade one back.
I hope the stream can hear this music and we don't just sound like it's like Psycho's second.
Now it's on to Neff.
A 1v1. He's creeping over. He's on his way. He's got some lobby music going. He feels like he's in an elevator. He's loving it. And he's trying to elevate this team to new heights. Going in for the plant over towards the B side, faking it out, trying to pull these players out into the open. But look at this. Sakai's actually got a good play. I like this. He's sneaking over towards the A side. He's thinking it's going to be a big fake, but he'll realize pretty soon that it's not. And that's going to cost him a lot of time on the rotate. I won't criticize it too heavily. I think that was a really nice attempt by him to make a big brain play and rotate over towards that A site. But unfortunately, it's not worked. And now the music off because it's serious time, Tom. It's time to really get this game a-rolling because Sakai's coming in for the retake and Neff, he's peeking out. He could just play time, but he really wants to go for this. Whoa, he's peeking with a molly out. What? Did Sakai just take a lot of damage? What? Did Sakai nade himself? What happened?
I don't know.
Why did he just go to 23 HP? Has the universe just... Has he been smitten by the gods? We need a replay of that. I don't know if we can, but what? I just saw him run down short, and all of a sudden he was 23 HP. What's he at? What's he done? Did I hallucinate? Was he low the whole time? I'm pretty sure he wasn't. I'm so confused. I just saw Neff peek with a Molotov, and then Sakai lose a lot of health. It's like, this guy got laser vision or something.
All the T's are leaving.
What the hell is going on?
I imagine there's a few tech issues. Obviously, with using VPNs and stuff to make it a little bit easier to connect to a lot of the servers, we do sometimes have some issues. So hopefully they'll be back relatively soon. Yeah, I'm not sure because I also thought I saw him take a lot of damage, but I don't really know how. That's an interesting prospect.
Yeah, if we
Not the
if we
best start to the
can,
game for Bulbasaur. 005. He's not quite made it to. He's not got his license to kill yet. I think that's the problem.
if we can get a replay, that would be ideal because I want to see what happened there. I've got the stream open, but obviously it's on delay, so I've got to figure out what went on. Ooh, those lights are bright. Yeah, that was very odd. So the start of this has been about as wild and wacky as we expected. I think it's fair to say. We've got a big swing back and forth with Deagle's rounds being won out, where I feel like generally you wouldn't imagine the team has all too much of a chance. At least in the previous unit, started out with HUAT finding the opening duel, but I really felt like the short hold from Oi was enough to pull that right back into their favor. And yet Neff, he had it in the bag. He had it in the back pocket. Oh, here we go. Oh no, it was before this. It was when he's over on short. The stream is... Oh, it's still a little bit behind. Because I'm pretty sure he was... Yeah, he was 76 HP, and he had a frag grenade. That man has naded himself. He's actually naded himself. Oh my god.
For a lot as well, to do that much damage to yourself is actually quite difficult.
It landed on his feet, like... I'm watching it back now. Yeah, he was 76 HP when he came up short, and then he all of a sudden went to 23. So that man has landed a nade on his own feet. Again, ZAI. Player who, first couple days we highlighted, has the worst decision-making we've ever seen in Counter-Strike, and now he's naded himself in a 1v1. So, it's still a lot to improve on there for him.
I'm sure he'll get there in the end. It might take about 700 years, but he'll get there.
Yeah, he threw the nade and it bounced off the sight back onto him. Oh my god, that's so stupid.
Next level plays. If you kill yourself, your opponent can't get the kill. He's nerfing their stats, although he did end up getting killed anyway. We're gonna see the B push once again. Molotov in towards the truck. It's Oi ready and waiting. Neff has already found the opener, and he's just hiding within the smoke. They should know that he's here. That smoke didn't appear on its own, but luckily he doesn't hit any shots. So even though somehow they didn't check for him, they're gonna get away with it. And Ronan, that's madness. There's a reason that's called the murder hole, but Bingo, I guess, wasn't prepared for anybody to push through it. ZAI,
he's still got a nade. Watch out.
Yeah, he's got to be careful here.
It's dangerous. Don't mess with nades, kids.
Maybe they should just tell him to not buy utility.
Have you ever seen the show? I don't know why the grenade just made me think of this. Have you ever seen the show Would I Lie to You?
Yes.
Let me figure out what his name is. There's a guest on that, and it's like if it sounds fake, it's real. Like he was Bill Mortimer, I think his name is. Pretty sure. This guy does his own dentistry, but I remember one of the days he told this story of how up on top of, I think, his kitchen cupboard or something like that, there was a random like thing he didn't know what it was, and somehow he ended up calling the police. The police came and went, I think that's a grenade from World War II. So they had the police got their supervisor, who got their supervisor, who got their got a detective, and like 10 different policemen had to come along to check if this was a grenade, and it was a live grenade on top of his kitchen countertop from World War II. It was just sat there for some reason. That was quite interesting. Be careful.
With how clumsy I am, I'd probably knock it off, and I'd end up blowing up my kitchen.
You'd knock it off.
Yeah, knock off a grenade.
He'd do that too.
There we go. They've taken the B site again. I think they've found where they're going to be pressuring for the majority of this match, as that is now 3 round wins in a row on the B site. And to be fair, there hasn't been too much resistance as of yet. They did kind of forget to check where Oi was, but that hasn't been too much of a problem. And HUAT looking good so far in this T side. And that's the thing. I I think even individually, they look like the better squad. Like, sure, a lot of that comes off the back of, I think Ronin is one for the future. And I think this is a map that's definitely going to support his individual skill, allow him to be a little bit more crazy, go for picks and be aggressive. And that's the thing. It seems like the team are just aware of that. They're just going to allow him to go for these sort of plays. It seems like even with his initial peaks toward mid, they're now going to rotate him over and give him the chance to entry frag on this site as well. It does seem like they're trying to utilize the young star, which that's something I wanted to see on day one, was just get this man into the right positions. He's going to come out of Palace. Wang has already got the opening pick, though, and he's a little bit further behind. Ronan looks like he's just tempted to try and wide peek out of the Palace, but with the smokes down, he should be able to cover off the man planting the bomb. Neff has gone down, and so is Bulbasaur, straight through the smoke. Ronan now needing to have some pretty big impact, big spam through. I don't think he's going to last much longer. Just 6 HP. Flash needs to hit some shots here. First goes his way, second as well, but his teammate's been lost in the trade. He needs to try and stop this bomb from being defused, and that's a lot easier said than done. Kai eventually will close him out. It's 4-4 after equalize. A good round from Wang and Sakai. The T's, they've got plenty of cash here, Mitch.
Plenty of dollar bills. It's been that back and forth game to start us off. I think this is very much what we expected. After got away with murder in that round, though. Like, first they get the kill on the ramp push through smoke by Wang. That's all right, but the one on the Bulbasaur, that was ridiculous. That was just a straight random spray by Bingo through the smoke. And those were the lifelines that they needed to get back into that one. I think actually if they had have only gotten one through the smoke, they probably would have lost that round. And then didn't they lit another player, Ronan, down to like 6 HP or something as well. So it was a pretty good round for them without seeing anybody. Sometimes all the stars line up in your favor. And it appears this was one of them. We'll tag up through connector. As you can see what's at the moment. They're playing a T-side I can't criticize too much, but I will look at Neff. He's pushed all the way up in apartments. Clearly thinks he's found a little bit of a weakness towards B. And he's causing a lot of noise, but I think the fact that he's gone forward and poked there and then fallen back gives away the fact that they're not looking to push into the B side. That fake of the flash going over is going to be sold for the next 5 seconds, and then after we're going to realize this is not a B take. Why would he push all the way up, go back, flash, and then disappear? And I'd be surprised if they don't rotate over towards that A side and leave a solo B player.
And for now, they're keeping it fairly standard already, though. Splash Kid just peeked wide into ramp. That is oh, sorry, Sakai. Never mind. Oh, cool. No, it makes perfect sense. Sakai. Peek from Bingo, also on his own. Can we get any more solo peeks? Yeah, we can. Wang's going to do one. This is a good round. That's how you play Counter-Strike, guys. Just all peek, one by one. Wide peek as well. Make sure it's a wide peek. It has to be a wide peek. Otherwise, you know, that would be silly. Don't shoulder peek the angle to check if someone's there. Just swing. Just swing.
I know what you're thinking. What if there's 4 people there? Kill them.
Headshot them all, even if you got AWP.
Yeah, absolutely. I know what you're thinking as well. Shouldn't you get your teammate to flash for you? No, because it might blind you. That lets them know you're gonna push. So don't ever use flashes. Just swing wide, headshot everybody, easy game. At least that's the methodology after going for. So I think first of all,
really?
First of all, that AWP is so visible. So the reaction time, or the read on the situation was terrible. I know we can see the team, but the reality was in the positions they were in, when I called that, HUAT could so easily have been pushing B. They still had 3 players on mid. They'd full mid control. That could have been a push down short for a B take. But the second that you see that player in apps making noise, then you heard him run back, because you have a player on short who definitely heard that, and then a flash goes over. That's a fake. Now, they waited like 20 seconds and didn't even jump peek apps once. You've got flashes, flash it, jump peek. No one's there, rotate one over. You've got an A stack ready to go. So also communicate that to your A players so Sakai doesn't go, I'm going to run up on top of stairs. Like, that was just stupid. That was a stupid round from after. They did everything wrong. And I guess that's what we've come to expect from this team.
Well, they can always win one back with the Deagles. That's how this game works. Oy's actually in the corner. Marek might just do this all on his lonesome. And that... Oh, no. He's actually going to do it. He's just got 3 kills. Now, Oy, all he has to do is get 1. That's all he needs. And there he is. There's the 1. He's going to get the 2nd. Hey, don't worry, bitch. Everything's all right in the end.
This is just... I don't enjoy this. It's 5-5. I don't know who's
Hey, I want to see this from Marek's position, you know? There's the first. No trade.
Like, this is the thing. He hit some sick shots, 100%.
Oh, there we go. Nice splash. It's the same thing as last round, though. It's like all the T's are now peaking one by one.
But not only that, Tom, you've just put your opponents down to a weak buy. Let's push B fast with an op. Yeah. If I call that a match, I like being completely serious here. If I call that in matchmaking, or if I'm face it queuing, you know, I'm level 9. It's not the highest ever. I will get roasted when someone goes, but they're on Deagles and we have an op. Be like, yeah, rush B, just rush B. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Yeah, you're gonna get roasted. You're gonna call you a moron. So I don't know what the call was there or how it was listened to, but sure, look, these things happen.
Oh, Ronin's going to go down early into the round. He hasn't done much over the last few. He was 5-5. He's now 5-8. So, well, by that regard, he's pretty much done nothing. The T's, they've thrown down some utility as if they're going to push short. They've smoked off the window. They've smoked off connector. And they're going just straight through apps. I would like to see them put some pressure on short because the apps pushes so far have been a bit bad, is the way I'll put it. They've not worked too well. Always jump spotting again. Oh, he should have seen them by now. But okay, then never mind. He doesn't get hit anyway. A little bit of luck that goes a long way. Neff seems to be just trying to almost hold off rotations, but not really doing anything. He's just sat there. I felt like he's been way too slow. And there's 10 seconds. Like, this round's already over. There's no chance for him to really do anything unless, well, they might actually get the bomb down. There you go. Now just kill everyone else. There's the first kill. Now they should just be able to get onto the bomb and defuse this without him really doing anything. If he gets out this door, I'm going to be so annoyed. No, there we go. Sakai's holding it. It was just too late. Like, if he's going to make that sort of flank play, it needs to be sooner because his teammates basically needed to double entry that site completely clean to have any chance of winning the round. Also, I don't like if you're going to smoke window and deep connector, take short. Have the split available to you. Instead, they just go all the way back into the apartments. It's a bit of a weird round for them, I'll be honest. And the CT side are seemingly able to capitalize off of a lot of these positions. They don't even check. What? They don't check. So they didn't send anyone short, and then they just don't check it when they push. These guys play weird.
Mm-hmm. It is odd. I think just generally what we're seeing is very... It's very much what I'd expect in a way from these teams. Like, we are being quite critical of them. And I think comparing them to someone like Beyond, Tyloo, we expect them to have hard protocols for any situation. For after HUAT, it is a situation where they're obviously not as well drilled, as well practiced when it comes down to their strategies. And so you will see things like in the middle of a round, you can get lost in terms of timing. A couple seconds here or there is what makes a difference between a good flank and a completely wasted one, like what we saw in the previous round. And it can be hard to really nail that. It takes time playing with your squad, understanding when you've pulled rotations. A nice shot by Bobasaur. Deagle's in play so far. That's been the winning formula. He's only taken half HP as he bails out. Like, he was just shot at, naded, and he's good to go. Still holding on to that palace control, leaving them open. Oh, God. Ooh. This is terrible. 2 great shots by HUAT. M4 retrieved. Sakai is so low, somehow gets away with 2. Nice shot by Marek. Pulls it back into the realm of plausibility. It scares me. The position Neff's in, though. Oh, he's not going to push through the murder hole, and that's a good decision.
Oh, the flank coming in all the way around. The box at the back of the site currently being covered by Splash, and they do have a fair amount of utility. They're going to throw smoke onto the bomb. Now, they have a Molotov. There's only really one place where I'd throw a Molotov on this site, but by the looks of it, they're not going to use it at all, and Splash K is just going to try and hide in the smoke. It's ambitious. Oh, he's actually going to get the knife. I don't even know if they'd have time. He's just won the round. He's won the round off that knife kill. I can't believe that's just happened. Oh, my God. That's a big brain play from him, but I'm very surprised that they shot him, right? So that made a sound.
One of those things, Tom. It's one of those things. A wild round. And What's I've gotten away with murder. Deagle's coming in. All those entries they managed to find. This shot was great by Bulbasaur. I don't know how he survived that either. Ronan with another in towards the window. Opened up the site completely. Yeah, Sakai got 2, but he couldn't expect... I didn't even expect him to get 2, to be honest. That was ridiculous. That was just straight up ridiculous.
Well, this is going to put the money back into a bit of an awkward position for after gaming. Now, Ollie has some spare cash. He could just buy a rifle here and have enough to buy into the next round anyway. At least bolster this a little bit. And considering what they've managed to do with just Eagles, I'm still not feeling too confident for ZAI. Then again, I'm seriously hoping they don't just go for another B rush. It really, like, some of their B plays later into the round have been all right. It's just consistently them trying to just push directly through apartments. Like, they're not using short at all, even though it's something that they can have for free, which, yeah, I don't agree with that. I think if you're given a lot of mid control, utilize it. Like, we've seen Ronan get into the window plenty of time. Hold the rotations from there if you want to. But realistically, if you're able to get short for free and then you push from the apartments and don't check short, you're a madman. No, that's pretty much that. Interestingly, though, Neff has managed to get into the sandwich. So he's in a pretty good position here. And we're going to spot them jump spotting. But realistically, they haven't seen anything yet. So there's so much control already gathered up. I think Wang might have just fallen into a position of saving this all. But he's just going to get wrecked. I feel like his reactions have been a little bit slow today. That's a couple of times now that someone's just managed to run around the corner and just dome him. And he hasn't even been able to react.
It's funny because we were just talking yesterday about Wang's ability when it comes down to playing with that big, long gun. He's been able to hit some really flashy shots previously from what we've seen of him. Yeah, today has not been his day so far. Six to 7. It's one of these games that really, when you look at it, you're expecting all 3 maps purely because nobody's really favored. And I think what we were talking about in the pre-show pretty much has been summed up so far. Both of these teams are messy. They're on roughly the same level. And we've seen that. I think we've seen as many Deagle rounds won as we have rifle rounds. So that sums it up pretty much.
That's not really a statistic I want to hear, but I'm not going to disagree with it. This round looking a little bit more standard. Bomb down in spawn, so that will have to be retrieved. And you can see that ZAI are just trying to play a bit more of a default. Then again, though, after have been the least proactive team I've ever watched, I don't think they've taken any control anywhere. They've never pushed ramp. I think the most we've seen is once they pushed Palace. We've not seen them move into apartments, and they definitely haven't challenged into mid. It's almost like a team that has just been told, like, you're playing B, you're playing A, you're playing middle. And that's the game. Like, that they haven't tried to do anything with aggression, which actually surprises me because of how common it is, especially on this map. Already, though, the AWP of Wang has spotted out one. He goes peeking into the angle. It's been the same result almost every time. The second he tries to peek that angle, he dies. So I feel like he needs to at least be set up with some utility. It's just dry peaks every single time. And
you are asking for way too much there, Tom. Way too much. Let me go to HLTV real quick. Let me go to the live scoreboard. Let me go to advanced. Flash assists for the CT side. Take a guess, Tom. How many?
There are
1. T side. Guess how many?
2.
Yes, 2.
There
Very
we go.
good. 3 flash assists we've seen so far. And yeah, that pretty much sums up the game. Something that we were critical of many times previously for these teams is that I genuinely think the only T flash assist they have is rushing out ramp. That is the only one. I'm not even joking. That is genuinely all they have. The other flashes that they've thrown have been faking out B, which was just chucking a flash over and then going A. Of course, that worked for Bingo, but luckily there was a second player there to shut it down. Good protocols. Playing together, playing off each other, and well, running into a deagle, but again, Splashka's there to take the kill and finish it off. 9-6, well handled by HUAT in that final round. I will say it was probably the cleanest one that we've seen, although they do tend to look a little bit better when you abandon strategy and go for the more direct plays, the rush out A ramp, or as we saw previously on Train from, I think it was after, rush out T main. Those are the rounds where they come out looking better because it's a strategy everyone can understand and it's very hard to deviate from. If you're told to rush out A ramp and you go slow out B, you're doing it wrong. So there's only really one thing you can do in that instance. And in terms of individuals, these guys are good. They are definitely good. They're better than me. That's for damn sure. But when it comes down to tactics and team play, that's where it really falls apart for us.
I'm curious if Blair's actually has his headphones on, but like after, I want to know if After Gaming are an organization or if this is just some people playing together. Okay, Blair says he doesn't think they're an org. Well, that makes sense because otherwise I feel like this team would make some changes because I just don't like Ollie's playing relatively well, but the rest of the team aren't, and I don't think he's meant to be the one like just mad fragging out of his mind. Now they're playing a retake B strategy. It's always going to be tough, and they haven't bought a kit. So I don't. If you ever play a retake strategy without a kit, I don't want to watch that because it's just not a smart way to play the game. It really does mean you have to be super fast with the retakes, and on this B site, that is a lot easier said than done. Now for the T's, they've invested a little bit into utility, so there is going to be a smoke available. I'll be interested to see where it's going to land. I imagine just onto the window, but they run before it. What was the point? Don't buy a smoke. Like you've run before the smoke goes up, and someone's died to the exact position you're smoking. That is somewhat pointless. I guess it buys them a little bit of time. Oh, he's gonna go running through. Well, they're so aggressive in this position. Spiel's just tried to kill his teammate, but don't worry, Ronan Baby has got this one sorted. That was a mess.
Spiels just turns around and tries to shoot Ronan. I love it. Tries being the keyword. He failed.
It's a good thing he wasn't good with his aim, otherwise he would have killed his teammate. It's like he didn't even shoot one bullet either.
Yeah, he started spraying. Well, I think that's because someone was probably shouting behind from Oi pushing him through, and so he was like, "Oh, he's behind me." I love that. But the reaction was so late as well. Like the guy was dead for like 3 seconds. Oh, it's beautiful. So yeah, look, anyways, they take the pistol.
Friendly fire.
We're looking at just Galil's AK. This economy system is so trash. Oh my god. Like who designed this? And it's the thing, some of the decisions that are made, it just seems like people have no idea what their game is about in many, many games. And I think this economy, it was a good experiment. Let's move on very quickly. Let's get that.
I don't know. I feel like this economy was intentional and it was for casual players.
Yeah, well, 100%.
I want people to be able to buy all the time. Everybody should have a fair chance to buy guns.
Well, I think in a way there's no problem with gearing the game towards casual players. Give us a competitive rule set then. Get a separate. Is this man really using MP5? Is that happening? This never. I never see this weapon used. Ever. And he's got the rat skin as well. Ugh.
Well, that's. You
what are you doing? Oh, okay. His teammate was covering it. Okay, that's fine. Benefit of the silencer. Sakai didn't know what side he was being shot from. Genuinely, the only time I've ever seen that be a thing. He had no idea. He thought he was being shot from the left. Yeah, I didn't realize his teammate was covering that from that wide of an angle. That was a decent play. I like it.
Oh, they've managed to get the advantage for now. Oi's found his way into the window, but I feel like it should be expected. B site, they've just gone running in. Ooh, okay, we got there in the end. Bingo manages to get the kill, but he's very low. Oi's in a good position. Nef's dead eventually, but the trade will be coming in from Ronan. And now it's up to Ronan alongside Splash Gay. This is a very common angle. I hope they check it, but I have a feeling they might not. The nade, I think he actually whiffed that nade and it almost kills him, and neither of them are checked. Superb. Bingo, he's going to spray them both down. They almost accidentally killed him, and that would have potentially won them the round.
That would have been beautiful. And poor Sakai in that position, pushing through the smoke, just being tagged up by that MP5 so much in the legs as well, so it took him ages to die. And in the spot now on 10-7, yeah, I've got to be a little bit disappointed. Like, this goes in what? Yeah, to come into this and obviously have yourself a position where you win at the pistol and you just get wrecked round 2. It's what happens when you give a bomb plant away in the pistol, but it is always upsetting, and they've gone for a force buy, but this is the difference, right? You lose the pistol as the T's, but you get the bomb plant. You come in with better weapons than your opponents. You saw it in that round there, right? They have SMGs. T's are like, yeah, Galils and AKs, no worries. We got proper rifles to play with. Then the CT side goes for a force buy afterwards, and what do they get? Pistols, deagles. That's it. A little bit of utility to back them up. That's just ridiculous. There was a time, Tom, where winning the pistol basically got you 3-0 as a start. I was all right with that. You got a force by round 2, advantage towards the team that won the pistol round, and then third round you were kerplunked, you were eco. But here we are. And as I was saying, there's no problem with gearing it towards casual players. In fact, it's necessary, right? We need to have a casual player base, 100%. But what we also need is something that's designed specifically for competitive.
All I want to see is that bonus you get for losing the pistol. I think that should only go to the CT side. I think that's all it would because you have the bomb plant. I think if you remove that, I think the game's actually not that bad. It's just that second round bonus that just sucks. And I don't really know why it was added, to be honest. I don't
like
see a need for
resets.
it.
I really like resets. I feel like if you win a round, you lose your reset, your loss bonus. I think that was good because it punished you and it really caused consistency, and it made so. Here's the thing: I can see a potential argument from someone during the design process that said, "Well, listen, what's the most epic part of Counter-Strike? Well, it's when we get these buy rounds, right? They're epic. They're what people care about. So." Why don't we make more buy rounds, more hype, more epic moments? But the problem is you devalue them by having every single round being a buy round, or at least a lot of them. Whereas when you're reset, it means that you come into a round where you're like, if they lose this, they are screwed. So it really matters. Your edge of your seat. And if they do lose it, if they just find one round here and then they don't have a repeatable strategy, they deserve to lose. Like that. That's how Counter-Strike
also
work.
the biggest thing as well is like it's the same with like deagle rounds now. Like because you get so much more loss bonus, a deagle round comes up so often that it's not as impressive. Like whereas before, like you had teams like Envy who would take big risks going for those force buy rounds, and when they won it, it was incredible. That's why that happy deag play, granted, it's incredible in any situation, but that was so incredible then because of the risk that came with it.
Yeah.
Whereas now it's like you see deagles every other round. It's very, very common.
It's made CIS Counter-Strike hell to watch.
That is true. Well, we are going to see a buy coming up for HUAT side. They are still in the lead, but that's not. Is that twice that's happened now, where they win the pistol and they have won the pistol in both halves and lost the second round in both halves. So if After Gaming lose this, they have been given the greatest start you can possibly get to both halves of this map, which that would be atrocious because that's so hard to come back from because it just completely wrecks your economy. And not even just for like those 3 rounds. So we talk about those 3 rounds where you basically have the force buy, the full eco, and then the weak buy. But chances are that weak buy is still not good enough. So you can even go 5-0 or 5-1 down in a lot of these early stages. Now, they did manage to break back last time, going into round number 5. So it was only 3 in a row. But at the same time, if you look now, After Gaming should have an opportunity to break them here, and it's still not great. You don't have the AWP in play just yet. Ronin's playing with absolutely no utility. In fact, he just went for head armor and a rifle. In fact, 3 of the members of the team have gone for head armor here. I personally, I don't agree with that. I'd like to see some utility brought in for the squad, but then again, they don't use it. So I guess that's the one thing. I always sort of joke around with the idea of, I never want to see someone die with a full belt of utility, because what's the point? You've just wasted money. So if they're not going to use it, I guess don't buy it.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it makes sense, right? I used to play with someone that bought a decoy every round, and oftentimes didn't even throw it. It's like, why are you doing that? All those
be left with $50.
But that was genuinely the argument that they made. I was like, well, if you are left with $50 across 10 rounds, that's a nade and a flash, isn't it? Or smoke and a flash, even. You're chuffed. Yeah, that's it's not the ideal start, especially when you lose the pistol round, or you win the pistol rounds, excuse me, and then you come through with such a weak performance to follow them up. I can excuse it certainly on this half, the previous not so much. Previous was Deagles that took them down, but then again, Deagles are taking them down constantly.
Yeah, the Deagles took them down in 30 seconds. That was a really bad second round, but yeah, this half I actually don't mind a lot of the stuff that they were doing, but yeah, it's sort of like, it's always going to suck facing off against an equal to better buy when you win the round, but that's just what the economy does at the moment. I guess it works for both sides, so take that as you will. Like, technically both teams are in the same boat.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to be getting back into things here. So I imagine that was just a small tech issue that's been sorted. Maybe a ping spike, or somebody needing the bathroom. Maybe a pizza was delivered. Who knows? Who knows? It could be absolutely anything.
It's an odd theory, but yeah, maybe. Greasy hands on your mouse.
I know for a fact that there are players who have called a technical pause just to go get their food.
I mean, it is technical, right? It's a bio. Man's got to eat.
Yeah, maybe just do that not during the game. I'm not saying he did, but people who do.
I'm sure there are.
10. Ease have got mid control. This is something I mentioned in the first half, that we saw HUAT be basically given mid control for free and not utilize it at all. Smokes are going to fall. We have deep connector smokes. Now, this is something that really infuriated me when we saw Mirage played earlier in the tournament, was they didn't know how to throw this smoke. Well, both teams have utilized this smoke throughout the games. That is a positive, Mitch.
It is. Not patronizing at all. They know how to throw a smoke. Here's one by Spiels as well to block off so he can peek out to short, and he's managed to find one. Bulbasaur, oh no! Ooh. They found the kills but then traded back. Neff's got to have a big hold. He's got to pick up at least one here, but they both fall. Oh, what a disaster. It was After Gaming come through with a massive play. Wang on 3 kills. Looking a lot better coming into this T side, that's for sure. And they tied up 10-10. I've got to feel a bit deflated. You know, they've gotten a good start in both halves by winning the pistol. And now all of a sudden that lead is just completely gone.
Well, yeah, even just in that round, they had the man advantage, and I don't know if it was just that everybody lost their duels, but in a 3 versus 2, if you pick that one together, you should at least get 1 kill. And definitely not just lose both at once. So, yeah, good round from the T's to bring that one back. But realistically, you have to kind of have a look at the CT side and just say, well, what went wrong there? Where should you have waited for some of the other players to rotate in? The answer being yes, of course. But here we go. We're going to have the investment into some pistols. We got 4 Deagles, Mitch. There's 4 Deagles. So that, in your eyes, is a instant victory.
It meets the formula. I think in the previous round, the issue was that they had Neff out on the site, and he was kind of trapped being pushed down from potentially apps and short. So the player in kitchen wanted to swing to help him, But as he swung out, there was a player already there, and Neff was on the other side of the site, so couldn't help him. So they basically, where they tried to take a 2v1 fight, they ended up in 2 1v1s that they both lost. So that's definitely screwed them over quite a bit. Haven't lost those duels. They basically lost this round because the Deagles, they haven't shown up. They haven't followed the magical formula of Asian Counter-Strike, because it's a 1 versus 4 now for Neff. If he could just find a rifle, that would be ideal.
Well, his teammate just died holding a gun, so he could just go back to the A site and there is a gun waiting for him. But I guess not. It looks like he's going to try and get an exit kill. They've got the money to buy into the next round anyway. Not sure this is the route I would take to try and get back, but he is just trying to take the fights at this point, and he's dead for sure. Sakai is going to hit the headshot. If he didn't, Wang was behind as well. Got to be careful of the Wang from behind. 11 to 10. And now we're going to see a complete change of setup. A double AWP brought in. I'm hoping this is something of somewhat of a play rather than just desperation, which is something that you do see quite often, especially within this tournament so far. I've mentioned it many a time, but Tiger, for example, love to try and bring in a double AWP setup, and it doesn't work for them at all. So
well, Neff's been tagged up early on the B approach. They're just going to back off after. I like that approach. Over on the T side, like they're not going to overcommit. Knowing that they have already tagged that player up and that he's got an AWP, they don't want to hard fight that, and I respect the decision. They're holding in for any kind of mid control or A push that might come in. You could see that, right? You push the player out of apartments. Now the A guys get a little bit curious. They start to push up and try to find some info themselves. Ronan, baby, he's spamming. I thought he was up on top of the wood. And so maybe he would go in for a bit of an aggressive play, but Bingo won't be finding any free opportunities just yet. But the looks of things, this is going to be a B take with a late flank coming in behind on A. But they've managed to shift over, taking underpass control, moving through T-spawn. Ronan... or Bingo, excuse me, still holding that angle for the entirety of this round. So we will see an A crunch coming through. And the CT's not in the best of positions to deal with this. So Ronan tries to reposition himself, pushing up on ramp, all the way up, in fact. I thought he was going to tuck in the corner, but he goes for the fights instead.
Splashgate is going to have a pretty big job, but Bulbasaur winning a battle in the connector actually makes things interesting. Splashgate's trying to do it all on his own. You've got to be really careful of spam through that smoke. Nice shot from Spiels. He's in fact going to get the second. That's ridiculous. Shouldn't have got away with that, and Wang can't do anything. It is going to be the scoreline equalized once again. Try and look for some extra utility, maybe some extra weaponry if they can. But the double AWP setup will be kept through. And yeah, some pretty decent kills coming in, both from Bulbasaur and from Spiels at the back of the site. Like I said, like Ronan going down was definitely an issue, but I can understand like why he did it. Like that was in a position where he's sort of stuck in no man's land, and I think this stems from the same problem that I mentioned, and it's something that's very surprising to me. Maybe because I have watched so much CIS Counter-Strike in my time, but they're not going for any information. Like that was the first push that we saw, was a slight peek in towards the ramp. In the pistol rounds, they're much more proactive, but it seems like when we get back to the rifles, they don't fight for too much. Bulbasaur now maybe trying to make a bit of a change with that, as they do go facing into middle. And actually, Neff now finding the opening pick. Now, this is where you don't need to peek anymore. He's still going to take that risk anyway and get away with it this time. But you've already got yourself those openers. Now fall back into the passive stance you had in the previous couple of rounds.
I want to see HUAT do exactly that. And you can see it on your screens here. It's a nice passive stance indeed. Possibly the only overextension me and Neff so aggressively on short, but it's good information for the team to continue to have. He's not going to be smoked off either. They've gone for the connector play. They've gone... Oh, nice shot by Wang. They've smoked off Con, but it's top Con. And so both of these players can actually peek through. There's... Oh, Splash is missed. They know there's a player close because Wang spotted him. A 2v3. HUAT. You have really just thrown this one away. Ronan Baby at least able to find Wang caught off guard, but the swing there, 2v1 fight easily taken by Bingo and Marek. And now it's all down to Spiels. He's got a lot to do.
India out onto the ramp. He's actually got a second one as well. Oh, it's going to peek into it. Marek takes the fight, and they're going to win the round. Or should I say, HUAT are going to lose the round. I genuinely don't understand the decision-making of this team whatsoever. Like, sure, there were a couple of whiffs mixed into that, but in a round where you have no information, you don't push at all. In a round where you are in a 5 versus 3, you all play aggressively. Like, what?
So not only that, Tom, what happened was they took the pick onto Neff on short, and then Bulbasaur went into connector. Like, they had one player con looking for the underpass play. So at that point, the clear decision, you've lost short control, they could come through mid, there's 35 seconds left, 40 maybe, pull back to sites, right? No. These guys push straight into connector with 2 and hold down those aggressive spots. It's just ludicrous.
The thing that's irritating is if they do that at the beginning of the round, I don't really have a problem with it. But it's just because they do it when they're already winning. That it just doesn't make sense. It seems like they have these strategies in their back pocket, but they use them once they're already like winning the round. Ronan with the Deeg always seems to cause problems, but his teammate in Neff has gone down in the connector. Push coming in from behind. Spiels gets away with it. The 2 tap to the leg, a kill. I'm not really sure how, but you know, that's Counter-Strike. Now the C's going to go running the gauntlet back towards the B side. There is going to be a man waiting, and it's Spiels with the rifle. It would be pretty much this game in a nutshell if they did manage to turn this one back around. Spiels would need to get a double kill, and it's just whether or not they're going to expect him. They do have a Molotov, but unfortunately it's on the player on the other side, so they're just going to have to hard check this angle. They don't check it at all. What? Well, he tries to check close and ends up just jumping to his doom. It's left onto Ronan. Now, he has the opportunity for a couple of 1v1s. Now, the first one's going to be just around this corner. He is going to shoulder peek it, but Wang isn't going to miss this time. He's been much better on the T side, which for an AWPer is fairly surprising. It's not something you see too often. Now, that round in isolation for HUAT side was just a few pistols. So the fact that it comes down to just 2 players for the T side really isn't too bad for them at all. But looking at the scoreline, they need to do more.
Yeah, most certainly. For after 13 to 11 is a fantastic scoreline. They've been given every opportunity into this game. Like, HUAT are really showing why they're the bottom team, and it's amazing to me, Tom. It really is. Because remember, this is online Counter-Strike. You're a mix, sure. You can still have a coach who's IGLing for you. There's no way to enforce it, right? They made the rules that coaches can talk during the ORMR events, at least Road to Rio. And there's no way to enforce it across the board. So they could very easily have a coach sat there, IGLing for them, fixing up these little mistakes, and giving them that edge. And if they do, that's a disgrace. They need a different coach. Or they need to listen to him. I don't know. The position that they're in at the moment is like they've got decent players from what we've seen of HUAT. Like, it's not like these guys miss every single shot. Okay, granted, the previous buy round, they whiffed a lot, but that isn't happening every single time. It's just like, what? Some of the strategies are so odd. Now, they're a man down. They're trying to make up for that 2 men down, in fact. And so Ronan goes pushing into ramp.
Ooh.
It was a risky play. He got drop shotted by Bingo. So it's unfortunate. But good damage done to Bingo and Oi, at least. If Balbo finds this is doable. This is very, very winnable. If Spiels manages to hit a couple of these shots from connector and take down the... Oh, he took down Wang! Both players are now like 1 HP. This is so winnable for them. And it looks like HUAT might just have gotten away with this round.
They probably shouldn't have done, but the T's have given them 1v1 duels. Bulbasaur doesn't miss a beat. Nice round from him. He's had a quieter performance, that's for sure. And the first time, maybe the last time, we're seeing him with an AWP. They've definitely done a very good job of shutting down Ronan as well. There's been no shenanigans from him so far in this match. A few Deagle kills have been the main highlight of his game. They are going to bring it back when it matters. 13 to 12. Their buy comes out. slightly weaker than their opponent. Still going to be an AWP in play for Wang. The jump up comes over to spot over the top of the smoke. Flashbang's being expended, and because of that, Splashgate is going to have to fall back, play slightly more passive. No, maybe not.
Come to my attention, Tom, that you don't know what game we're watching here. There is no such thing as a player having to do something. They'll do whatever the hell they want. And apparently what HUAT want is to throw this round away. Give the advantages over towards after. Aggressive peaks on mid, completely falling apart for them. Does After Gaming have the map to play with? Two-man stack towards the B site. One smoke was thrown, 20 seconds ago? And that has caused a pretty much full rotate towards this B site. A complete abandonment of A. And as Ronan comes back up to check this, if he goes on top of stairs, he's dead. If he comes down below, he's dead. The smokes luckily will block him out from certain well, he thought about pushing through that. That would not be the right call.
Ooh! Okay. Let Bulbasaur have the AWP. Damn, the man's hitting shots at the moment. They're going to try and plant. Oh, the spray's coming through, but it's not done anywhere near as much damage as they might have hoped for. They're going to desperately need to find a pick, and there's a potential for one here. Sakai's waiting on the angle. You'd expect him to win this duel, but he gets peeked wide, and Spiels is going to hit the shot. Somehow they're now in an advantageous position with Ronan now connecting onto another. It's left onto Wang. They know where he is. The AWP's holding the angle. The bomb's being defused. He hits the first. He's going to peek out. He's going to get it as well. It's an ace for Wang. The T-side AWP comes through again, and After Gaming etching their way ever closer to a victory. They were in a 5-on-3. It then comes back to a 3-on-1, and the one wins.
The big Wang absolutely wrecking these guys. You love to see it. Look at these peaks. Swinging right into an AWP, no problem. He wide swung.
What is Bulbasaur doing?
Holding it for the...
He unscoped.
Oh, did he?
He was moving. I'm sure he was moving.
I think he shot. I'm pretty sure he shot at him and it was moving afterwards. Because he switched to his knife. I'm almost certain. If he unscoped, then he threw that round completely. But I'm almost certain that he shot at him and was moving afterwards. Either way, HUAT just wrecked themselves. Another lifeline just choked away. They don't want it. And a 5v5 with pistols. Deagles to work with for HUAT. Now, I've seen this round before, Tom. HUAT win it. And actually, ooh, after thinking about going in towards the A site, not a bad call considering the buy they're up against. They've learned the lesson of what HUAT did, but unfortunately, running into Deagles is never going to be ideal. Connector control in favor of the CT side. They take down one, but they don't realize Ronan's still here. If they take Ronan, they're going to go A, surely. They've got the picks. They'll presume the other players are stacked up on the B side. That gives Splashka the opportunity to come through. You're never going to expect a third in connector, but Wang hits the shot after being tagged twice by the Deagle. That's what keeps them alive in this one. That's what gives them a chance, because now it's a 3v1. And Spiel's just going to look to save a rifle if he can.
Oh, it's looking like the beginning of the end. They will have enough to buy into the next round, so realistically, he can look for a gun, go hunting, try and do a bit of extra damage. Wang has been incredible in this second half, though. I think he was on, like, 7 kills in the first, and I believe he's now on, like, I want to say 26. Galil picked up. Probably not his end goal, if anything. He might be able to catch Bingo. Nice shot, at least. Although retrieving that weapon, he's got to make the jump, which he will. So that's at least an upgrade eventually. Again, making things costly, but for after, it doesn't really matter as long as they continue to win these rounds. He is on 26 kills. That is a fantastic turnaround from what was a poor first half for sure, losing a lot of duels and now winning them some crucial rounds. 15 to 12. HUAT, they need to aim for overtime. Of course, this is their map choice, right? I want to say.
Yeah, it's HUAT's map choice. Next up is Inferno, choice of after. And Tom, just to return to our point from previous... Oh, well, hold on. The push is coming in. Let's give after some respect on this B. A take. They've team killed. Marek's taking down Sakai with a nade. This guy's not been having a good day with team nades. Not at all. He naded himself. He's being naded by a teammate. That's how things go. The fast B push not working at all. 15-13. 2 rounds away now. WhatsApp looking for overtime. And Tom, since we last spoke about flashes, there has been a total of... Are you ready for this? You ready? 2 extra flash assists. Wow, that's over maybe like 15 rounds. Wow, that's amazing. Yeah, there's now Bulbasaur, who has been opping at a lot of the time, has got 2 flash assists. That's the only one for WhatsApp. And Bingo has got 3 flash assists. And those are the only ones for
Bingo.
after. So yeah, it's abysmal when it comes to... I mean, that is something you can judge teams on straight away. And that they are not playing supportive at all. And I guarantee you, most of those flash assists, even though there's only been 5 in this game, are from rushing A and flashing over and getting the opening kill. That's it. But through the smoke, it seems like apparently we're going to get much more to
you
work
got 1
with.
HP. Stop peeking. Madman. Why? Why? This man is an idiot. It's a 5v1. Like, why are you doing that? You're just handing away kills. Hello.
Yeah, I don't know. That was a very odd decision to just continue to swing on through. Sometimes it happens, but hey, Tom, you know what? Got a little bit of music, and that makes it all okay. This is what settles me down whenever these rounds happen. Whenever the weird things come on in, you just get a little bit of that beautiful music, and everything's okay. Feel like I'm sipping a cocktail in a fancy hotel lobby, and then I open my eyes, and I'm disappointed.
Well, I'm hoping you don't say stuff like that to your girlfriend, because that was kind of rude. I'm having a wonderful dream. I wake up and I'm disappointed.
And I see you. No. Well, I do, but, you know, that's not the point.
Oh, dear Lord. Well, a bit more of a passive round. Neff looks to try and peek into the window with a rotation. Needs to come into this A site. It is going to be a push in that direction. You can see Bulbasaur is going to try and hold into the connector. Ronan in a fairly aggressive position. They should check for this. Somewhere from Palace that you can normally spot. At least a pixel, especially now that he's wiggled his way out. He has to go for the fight. It's awkward, but he's going to win it. And there isn't an option for a trade as Splashgate's been able to hold the line eventually. Or he's just going to run in through and Splashgate goes out. He had the back of the site for himself and they're all just peeking one by one. There's only 25 seconds left on the clock. They look like they had this round dead to rights. Instead, after a bounce back, Spiels goes down. It's left all onto Neff. He needs this headshot and he's not going to find it. WhatsApp, they continue as they mean to go on by losing a round that they never should.